It's the invisible pollution that you can't see that's really harmful.
What do you think of climate change?
I think it's bull.
They will have to hire an army because it's everywhere.
Charlie Delta crossing runway 1634.
You've only seen the head of a pin of what's out here.
We're on the road in Texas to find a gas that's warming our planet more quickly than any other. It's invisible, it's odorless, and here in the vastness of the Permian Basin, we're told it's everywhere.
Look how big that flare is from here.
We're following Sharon Wilson and her team from Earthworks, clean air advocates who, for nearly a decade, have been trying to expose this hidden polluter, methane. We pull up alongside one of the thousands of oil facilities which dot this landscape. And with a specialist camera, Sharon shows us the problem.
I'm going to put it in high sensitivity mode. And if you want to just look.
Wow, so you can't see anything when you're looking with the naked eye, but as soon as you look through here, you could see quite clearly that there is vapor coming out of these tanks. Methane is a byproduct of oil extraction, and from the tanks holding the crude, it is seeping out.
It causes pressure, so they can't leave the pressure in the tank. So they have to either route it somewhere through a vapor recovery device, or they have to release it to the atmosphere.
The operators are allowed to emit certain quantities of methane, but checks on what's actually happening are lax. And so it is the imagery from spot checks like this which Sharon has taken to Glasgow to focus minds. The team are not popular here. Staff from the plant watch us and then call the police, accusing us of trespassing.
If everything checks out fine, I mean, I'll be out of here.
The officer agreed that we were not.
We're never going to do that.
At another site, an unlit flare stack, and through Sharon's camera, the consequence is exposed. The flares are used to burn off the gas, so often though they are partially lit or not alight at all, and so it's released into the air and you can't see it. Why haven't they lit it?
I guess they don't have to. Who's going to make them light it? I've been reporting it to the state every time. I guess nobody makes them.
At a third site, more emissions from a flare stack. Sharon's research with others has concluded that 10% of flares are not lit or are partially lit. They say this means companies here are emitting up to 3.5 times more methane than was feared. And here, a leak too. We approached the companies who operate these plants. Only one responded, saying that they had found a leak on a tank that they'd sold recently to another operator. All this is a huge problem because the scientists say that over a 20-year period, methane is 80 times more potent at warming than CO2. In short then, it is a very, very significant contributor to our warming planet. And the hope from those who are exposing the emissions is that they can show us all the scale and the impact.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Permian Basin International Oil Show.
But up the road in the local town, a trade fair hints at just how vital the oil industry is to this community. This is where the Biden administration's pledges to save the planet are up against local politics, jobs, and people.
What is regulations going to do? I mean, how do you regulate the climate? It changed in the dark ages. It's changed throughout history.
Every business in this area, whether it's directly related to the oil field or not, is going to be severely impacted if they shut any of it down.
I think there's a lot of regulatory things that they put out there, but nobody really super adheres to.
What do you think of climate change?
I think it's bull. That's it.
Taxiing to runway 20 via Alpha.
Beyond those hardened opinions, it is the scale of all this that's overwhelming. The Permian Basin covers more than 80,000 square miles of Texas and New Mexico. With a specialist camera mounted on the wing, a crew of 2 working for a company called Kairos Aerospace can now cover vast areas of land. Each patch below us is an oil facility, and wherever there is oil, there is the potential for methane to be emitted. We fly in a grid pattern. Images from the camera are processed, and the results are striking. Kairos's clients are the oil companies themselves. The data that's collected on this plane is passed to those oil companies to help them stop the emissions. Reducing methane emissions is a key component of America's pledges in Glasgow. Sharon has taken her research to Scotland, but she is not optimistic.
The Biden administration listens to the industry more than he listens to the people. And he wants to be seen as this compromiser, this big negotiator. But we're past all of that. We're past compromising. We need a really strong leader who will make the United States lead the way. And that's not happening.
It is so often the determination of just a few to expose the damage done by so many. But this is a toxic political climate. Exposure is one thing, change is quite another. Mark Stone, Sky News, in the oil fields of Texas.